talking about environments, and I'm going to give away some cool sites where you can get your environments and how they work, etc. So let's start with the first sites. I have everything lined up in here. That's cgtrader.com. I'm just gonna paste it in here. Unapproved link. I'll have to delete maybe this. Yeah, that works. Okay, so cgtrader.com is a very cool site where you can find a ton of stuff. Let's say I want to find a garage, for example. We just type in garage, garage, let's say garage. And there we have it. So here we can see all different kinds of not only environments, but also objects. So first thing I want to do when I'm searching for environments is change the format to, and to keep it easy, I always select .blend file. Why do I choose a .blend file? We'll go into it a bit further down the line, because you have everything inside of it. You have camera, you have lightning, you have a scene that you can start working in. And that's what's so important if you don't know the whole process of how Blender works. Having something that's easily ready, that you can just start working in, is so much fun to get a grasp of how everything works, and you have a clean output. So win, win, another win, another win. Just keep winning with downloading .blend files. Okay, so as you can see, some of the files cost a little bit more, some of the files cost a little bit less. I think it's Black Friday this week, or Black Week, so there are some sales going, and as you can see, you can just select any garage that you want, that you're looking for. There are more dark type of things, there's more cozy. It all depends on what you want to create and how you want to create it. The most important thing is that you make sure it has a blend file, as you can see here. FBX works as well, but most of the time in FBX files you don't have lighting or cameras inside of your project, so the blend file is, in my opinion, the better option to get started working on anything. So CG Trader, as you can see, a lot of options, a lot of cool stuff. It costs a little bit of money, but nothing is free except for the sunshine, and even in Blender, sunshine isn't free, I'd say. Okay, so CG Trader, very nice site, very cool stuff. We also have Turbo Squid. Let's just copy Turbo Squid. Ta-da. Turbo Squid works the same way as CG Trader. Let's say garage, let's say search. Here we see all kinds of garage files. So let's go again to formats, and we want our .blend files to keep everything clean and easy. As you can see, a lot of different results from the last site. Some more low poly stuff. Yeah, some cool stuff overall. You will find some of the same, but essentially, if you don't find something on the other side, you might find it in here. As you can see, what do I typically look for when I'm scrolling? It's like it needs to look natural for me. So for example, this scene, parking lot scene, in this way it looks unnatural. It might just be the lighting, or it might be the camera point that's used for this preview, but I'm not going to buy this because it's $31.50, so it's quite a lot of money, and you don't know upfront if your asset will be of high quality and it will work good. So you really have to use your eyes and look for something that you like. For example, this is something I would instantly buy. This is more of a game type look, which I don't think will make my beast look cool enough, so I will not be using this one. But of course, if you're more into these vibes, go ahead and use these ones. That's all up to you, of course. And there we have it. Okay, next site is ArtStation, and in particular Renshan's profile. So this is maybe the biggest alpha you will hear today. So after this you can all go home. No, it's not true. So this is actually ArtStation is like a shop like TurboSquid, CG Trader, but Renshan is the person who made these assets and who uploaded these files. I'm just gonna scroll down a bit, and as you might notice, there are tons of environments that I used myself. For example, this environment was used in the last video. This environment was used in the clone video. I've used this environment. From the lightning pack I used a ton. This one, so as you can see, this was the birthday Mimi video that I made with Panda hanging from the ceiling. As you can see, there are tons of great environments from this guy, and they're all pretty cheap, like $1.50, $1, yeah, $3-4. Like, his assets are very cheap, they're of very high quality, and you have a big selection of yeah, super cool environments that you can work with. You just have to put in your beast, make sure the camera is doing what you want, and you have a beautiful scene. You have something that really works well with everything, and the scenes from this guy are amazing. I use them a lot, and I may suggest you guys try the same. Yeah, this guy just rocks, and he knows what he's doing. The thing is with his assets, with his .blend files, is that you have the settings for rendering, so they're already inside the project. So for example, if you want to render in cycles in Eevee, he already put it in there the best way it does it. Is it 100 samples? Is it 1000 samples? Like, when you render stuff from Renshan, in this case, your renders will go fast, they will look clean, and you don't have to know everything about Blender to get some cool stuff going on. So big shout out to Renshan. If you ever see this, you make amazing stuff. But of course, Renshan is not the only guy that's on artstation.com. So we have the marketplace. Of course, there's a sale going, Black Friday up to 70. So let's go, guys. Okay, so go to the shop, go to marketplace, and then we go to game assets. We just click here, and then we search again for garage. Let's search software. We can just use Blender in here. Now it will give me all the Blender assets for garage. And there we go. ArtStation is a very cool site to get your stuff going. There are a lot of models as well, if you're not looking for environments completely, but just, for example, the mailbox or an X or whatever. There are tons of models that you can use that are of high quality. Just always be sure to check out the quality. You can look through the photos and just make sure it's what you're looking for and what you need. But ArtStation is a site I've used a lot, and especially the Renshan assets I've used a lot. So last but not least, Kitbash. Kitbash is not really for full environments, but it gives you the assets. So that's the term as well. A Kitbash is a group of different assets that you can put together in the same environment and in the same style, let's say. So for example, we have a cyberpunk one, and you have all these buildings and all these little things as well. These things are amazing quality, they work super fast, but as you can see, they're more on the expensive side of things. Right now is a sale, so if you're looking to go hard on Blender this year, You can maybe check out the sale. And the best thing about Kitbash is that they have cargo. And cargo is an amazing plugin, as you can see here on the photos. So remember last time I showed you guys Splice, where you could just look for audio samples, you could download them, put them in your project. This is the same, but with 3D assets. So this means that, for example, I see this texture, I like this texture, so I just click it and I can put it in my Blender. Very easy to use. I like this building, I click it, I put it in my Blender file, and it works, it's high quality. Like I told you guys in the beginning, this is only the objects, and this will not include lighting or cameras, so you'll have to do some groundwork for this to work properly. But the assets are great. But as I said, let's explore firstly the full environments and how they work, and then we can go more into detail of this. So the blend file I showed you guys, it's in the Blender forum FAQ. I don't like to say fuck, but I just did it, so never mind. Underground Garage Scene 1, and if you open it, this is what you see. So this is an asset from Renshin that I got from the ArtStation. And as I told you guys, I love his assets, I love how everything's built up, and I love how smooth everything works. So as you can see here, I'm just gonna put on the render view for a second. This is a fully functional garage scene with lightning, with some graffiti on the walls, even with some water. This was a free scene from his site, so don't feel bad for downloading or using it. And there we go, I just lost it. Okay, there we go again, I got it. Okay, so how do we use a scene that's just a blend file that's already ready to use? Okay, so first off, we need to know what's inside of our scene. So we have a lot of bottom light bar. Okay, we have a camera. Our camera is somewhere in here. We have some cubes for these assets. We have other cubes. Okay, we have some cylinders. Okay, cool. We have some planes. We have another light. Okay, so why is it important to know what's inside of your project? Let's say we want to change the color of the light, because this is an asset that is ready to use, but maybe you want something more tailored to your needs. You need purple light to go with your beast, or that's important to know how everything works and how to fix it. So let's try to change the lights into something that's more of a purple color, let's say. Okay, so I just selected one of the light bars, and it says bottom light bar 42. So first of all, I need to know how it's emitting light, but since it's a mesh, I'm assuming that it will be a material. So I'm going into this material, and here I can see subsurface color. So let's just change it and let's see what it does. Okay, subsurface color did not change the light, so that's not it. We need to keep looking for something else. Okay, we see emission. Maybe if we change the emission to, for example, yellow, put a little higher. Okay, no, so this is not how this object emits light. Okay, so we'll have to dig deeper than this. So I'm just gonna open it up here, and here we see light V104, we see metal surface, we see light, and we see light too. Okay, so obviously the color of the light will be in one of the two light boxes. So we just click the light, we click on the light again, and here we see a bluish color. So let's say if we wanted a purple color, then there we go, our light is purple. We can go to light 2 and do it as well. And there we go. We have our purple lightning. I'm just gonna zoom in a bit. As we can see, there's still another source of light. And this source of light, I'm not seeing any light bulbs in here, so we have to search where it comes from. So we're gonna look in here on our gray area, and here we see a light object. So we select the light object, we can just select the color, we do it to purple, et voila. All of the lights inside of our garage are now purple, and we did some adjustments to have our garage set up the way we want it. Okay, for the sake of the tutorial, I'm just gonna redo everything to light so it's more visible. Okay, so that's how we can change our lights inside of our .blend file, where we have everything that we need. Okay, so now you're happy with how you did everything, you're happy with what you, hold on, I'm just gonna input my beast to make it a little easier. GLB, void beast update. Let's give him a second. Okay, there we have our beast. I'm just gonna put it a little more in the back. Okay, this is actually a scene that I've already used as well, and did a video for on Twitter. As you can see, it was this easy. The only thing we have to do now is to be able to have a cool render is to add our camera. So as we saw in here, there was already a camera. Let's search the camera. The camera. There we go. If you're having trouble with finding something, if you have a big project, a big blend file, you can just go in here. And then, for example, I just want to see my cameras. Et voila, I just see the camera. If I just want to see all the lights, I can see all the lights. An easy way to filter everything out. I'm just gonna leave everything on for now. Okay, so where were we? The camera. Okay, the camera. So where is this camera? We can find our camera here. As we can see, I'm going to the render view, and I'm going to put set active camera because I want to see what I will be rendering. Very important. And this is in the layout screen, but if we go on top to the animation screen, we have the same thing. So we have one screen in here, and here we have the render view, but you also have the keyframes. So I like to work in the animation view if I'm doing something, just for the sake of being able to set the keyframes properly. But for now we can work in the layout view because Renshan did a good job setting it up. So I'm not super happy with this image. You see the wall in here, he's standing there in the middle. Yeah, I'm not happy with the camera view. So, or we use this camera and we just change where it goes, or we add a new camera and we use our new camera. So that's up to you. For the exercise, let's just use the new camera. So I'm just gonna find it. Camera 001 is our new camera. Now, again, I have to select set active camera to make sure we are watching through the camera that we just imported. So I'm just gonna move the camera around in our environment. Okay. Let's just make it a little bit clearer where we are moving our camera. Okay, perfect. And I want to have our camera a little bit closer to our subject. Okay, that's awesome. I'm just zooming in a little bit. For our camera, there are a few things we can do with it. We can move it around, number one. We can also zoom in, zoom out. So the way to zoom in or zoom out is, instead of clicking on the arrows, you click on the yellow box so that it lights up and it becomes white. And if it's white, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and everything works great like this. I'm more of a square format kind of guy, since on X square formats work nice, on Instagram square formats work nice. This 2556 by 1440 is actually not exclusively, but it works good on YouTube, but not for much else. So let's just change this into a square format. Okay, voila, we have a square format. Or for example, if you want a format for TikTok, let's just say 920, 10, no, if we change it, 1080, 1920. Here we have a format that works perfect for TikTok or Instagram Reels. On Twitter it will be cut to the middle a bit, so if you're rendering, just always make sure, if you're using these dimensions, to have your subject in the middle of the video, so that whenever it gets cropped into a square, your subject will still be visible and you don't have to re-render your whole video with a different resolution or ratio. Okay, so I'm just gonna move the camera a little bit. Let's see. It's moving too fast. So usually when I move my camera, I use rotation XYZ because I like things to be clean. So instead of fooling around with my mouse and making sure that it's straight, I just put it straight. 90 degrees X, 0 degrees Y, 0 degrees Z or Z, and everything is perfectly aligned with how I want it. There we have it, a perfect shot of, let's be honest, of the most amazing beast from the whole collection. Okay, I'm just kidding, there are tons of cool beasts. Okay, I'm just zooming out a bit. Okay, perfect. I think this is a neat shot. This will be a perfect jam post for you for tomorrow morning, a good night post, whatever post you want it to be. Now, this is the scene that we downloaded, that we have changed the lighting a bit, but we want to change a bit more. I think my beast is feeling luxurious today, so I want to add a little bit of elements of gold in our environment. So how do I do this? Or elements of wood, or any elements you want. So this is with the Blender Kit tool. I touched this as well in a previous session. If you don't have it, download please the Blender Kit tool Blender add-on. It's an amazing add-on. It speeds up your workflow tenfold. I went into it already, so I'm just gonna use it today instead of explaining how it works. If you have questions about it though, feel free to hit me up or to check the past tutorial that I did about it. Okay, so I'm going to go with textures because I want something gold today. Okay, so here we see we have cool stuff with gold. Let's say black and gold marble. Let's say I want the floor to be a black and gold marble. So I selected the floor plane, as you can see by the orange lines here. I just drag the gold texture, I drop it onto the floor, and there we have it, a perfectly marble gold floor. Let's say for the background I want as well something black and gold marble. I dropped it onto the wrong thing again, so make sure you select your walls first. and then I drop it onto the wall. And as we can see in here, the wall changed to something black and gold, but I'm just going to do it with the other one to have a more distinct change in our scenery. Okay, so same goes for, let's say for example, ceiling. Select the ceiling, black and gold, and there we go. Now if we change our lighting again, like I showed you in the beginning, light, we go here to textures. Here we see our light textures. We do it to a more yellowish vibe. There we have a really golden vibe to it, where our original environment isn't recognizable anymore from what we've downloaded. So with just some minor changes, you can really use these environments to your advantage. You don't need to know everything of Blender, you just need to know what you want to know. Do you want to be able to change the backgrounds a little bit? Okay, perfect. Just go ahead, download a .blend environment and change the textures inside of it. You don't have to make everything from scratch. If we're going to start building all these little details, I'm not the best in it, but you're gonna be busy for a long time. For now, I think we spent 10 minutes on this scene, and it's from a bot scene, but you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the original one and the one that we have now. If I saw your scene like this, I wouldn't say, oh, it's the scene from Mention. No, I would say, cool scene, how did he do it? Don't care, I just like how it looks, and I think he made something cool today, and that's why we're all here, right? To just make cool stuff with our beasts, to be able to provide awesome content, and to get our creative juices flowing by doing stuff we don't know how to do yet, and by learning everything step by step. And I think this is the best way to do it. Search a cool environment, play around with the camera, because camera work does a lot. If I put it something like this, this would be, in my eyes, a bad render, because the subject is on the side. It's not something that's easy to the eyes. This is, for example, a better render, since it's clear that the subject is there. It's clear that the message you're trying to tell is clear. So camera work is very important. Choosing the right environment is very important, but as I said, Wrenchen has amazing environments for low prices, so just use these to practice, and then once you get animations down, you can start going on with your own environments. But yeah, that's a step further, and let's just take everything a step at a time. Are there any questions so far from anyone, guys? I'm just gonna hop into the chat for a second.
No questions so far, right?
Okay, nice. Okay, yeah, Jimmy, you're gonna you're gonna be broke by the end of this week, but that's something we all just need to accept, because Black Friday just I mean, it's a deal you can't miss though. We're gonna use Blender a lot more, especially with our keys. So yeah, I think that's it for the environments, honestly. Download an environment, that's cool. Make sure you have your camera set up properly. Make sure you don't forget about your dimensions. And yeah, just play around with everything. If you're more of a wood guy instead of a gold guy, just go for a wooden floor. For example, wood, bam, there we go, wooden floor. We're in a rustic garage right now, while we were in a cool dystopian garage. Now we are in a rustic, cozy place with just the click of 2 buttons, you see. So just play around with it, have some fun with it, make sure everything goes the way you want it, and voila, we have a whole other scene than we had before. So maybe I just still want to touch on something else quickly. Here we see some graffiti as well. What if we don't like the graffiti? Then first we'll have to see what is holding this graffiti to the wall. So we changed the texture of the wall, but the graffiti stayed. So the graffiti is obviously an overlap onto the wall. So how do we delete the graffiti? We'll have to look for the graffiti. So I clicked the wall and then I clicked this square. This square might be some graffiti. So how am I going to see if it's graffiti or not without having to delete it? At first, I clicked on this lighted up, it's scribble, so I think this will be graffiti. We have here an eye, hide in viewport, and we have here a camera, this disable in renders. So what does this mean? Hide in viewport. Simple, it hides in the viewport, but yeah, we're not getting it because it's not on camera. Maybe this is more on camera, scribble 5. Yeah, okay. So as we can see here, the graffiti, scribble 5. I'm gonna undo it, and here we have no more of this graffiti. So disabling viewport means you're not gonna see it while you're working, but it's still there. I'm not seeing it while I'm working, but it's going to render in the end. So if you don't want to see it and you don't want to render it, you need to select the camera as well, disable in render. So now I don't see it in the viewport, and if I render, I won't see it in my render. So that's also a neat little trick. So to just delete the graffiti, I think it's fair to say that all scribbles will be graffiti. So we select all scribbles. Let's just see if they are gone now if I click. And there we go. We have a cleaner wall without the graffiti. You just have to figure some things out while you're working in it. Like, for example, you don't like this lamp being in the shot. Okay, then we just have to delete the lamp as well. But as you can see, I did not delete the lamp, I just deleted the little cone of it. So I just have to redo. Oh no, lamp is not deleted. Okay, now the lamp is deleted, but there is still the ornament that the lamp was hanging on, and we still see it here, so we don't like that. So we have to delete this as well. And now finally the lamp has been deleted. But in another project, it might be that this lamp was not made of 4 parts, but it was just 1 part. So it will depend from situation to situation. It will really be an exercise of, let's say, trial and error, to figure out how every environment is set up, to figure out how every environment works, and to figure out how you can shape it to your needs, and to make sure you know how to use the environment in a good way, let's say. Okay, so let's delete this light, for example. We have a dark setup inside, but we want to have maybe a more daylight vibe to our scene, because now it's only inside and we want to have daylight. But of course, yeah, it's inside, so we can't have daylight. So I'm just gonna delete our roof for a second. And now we have no roof over our head. So it looks a bit weird, but there are gonna be environments where when you want to change this. For example, let's see if it's still open. Let's go to Renshin again. He has an environment. He has a lot of environments, for example, as you can see here, where maybe you would like to change the day to the night. This is very possible. This is not so hard neither. You just need to know how. For example, this one, if you want to change it from night to day, everything's possible. We just need to know how. So how would I do this? If I want to change from, let's say, from a night cycle to a day cycle, the easiest way to get this kind of effect is to go to HDRs. Blender Kit, thank you very much. Again, you have amazing tools. HDRs, it means that you are adding an environment in the sky in your environment, if that makes sense. So you're adding a sky with lightning. So let's say I want to have some sunset lighting. I think it would fit the scene perfectly. So I just search for sunset, and here I have all kinds of options. I think this sunset will give us the most warm, vibey sky. So I click on the cloudy sunset and we wait. However, there seems to be a problem because our sunset is not loading. So this is a problem we will have to fix first. We go to shading tab. Here on top we have our shading tab. And here we have our environment with our open roof, and we can see everything. Okay, so inside of your shading tab you have the viewport, and then you have the material nodes. Here you can see, if you click on these nodes, you can see all the materials that are used in the scene. But that's not what we want, because we want to be able to change our night day cycle. So instead of object, here in the left corner, we want to see the texture of our world. And here, as we can see, we have a texture of our world. Okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, so cloudy sunset is now the texture. I'm just going to delete this one as well so we can follow better. I see a light in here. I'm just gonna delete it because it's bothering my view. Okay, so what if we change to something like night? Let's say there was a night texture before, and we're going to switch it to a daylight texture. Okay, as we can see here, night sky, but there is no night sky. I'm just gonna put on the viewport render. You see, it's not doing anything. So why isn't it doing anything? We have to see why it isn't doing anything. Okay, so this is our cloudy sunset. So this is the thing that we started out with. Everything is gray. You saw it at the beginning. Everything looks gray. Everything is the way the environment was set up in the beginning. So we choose it, we switch this, and now our environment has changed the way we wanted it. So if you're having problem with your HDRs not switching properly, go into shading, go into your world tab, and then here at the top you can just select whatever you need that it is you want. So let's go for the sunset now again. Sunset. And as we can see, the sunset has been dropped into our scene and everything works properly now. Okay, let's go back to the layout mode. Let's do the sunset again. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to delete all lights because I got a feeling someone is trying to test my skills today. Let's go to our lights first. Let's turn them off so we have a good idea of where it's headed. Okay, so world, cloudy sunset. We want full moon sky. We want night sky. Why isn't the sky showing up? Let's see. That's what I meant by trial and error. You don't know how the environment is set up, so if you want to make some changes to it, sometimes you just have to figure out what's wrong with your scene or why it isn't doing what you want. So let's try again. Let's put in a new one. Yeah, it isn't doing it the way we want. So let's see what's happening here. Sunset fairway. Let's go to okay. So I'm just gonna redo. Okay, so the problem was that my environment scenery on top, like the HDR in the environment, was already set up to be a gray color because of course there was no night sky, it was all inside of the box happening, so it was just put on gray. So I just selected the gray background, I just deleted it and it was gone. So now normally, let's see if I'm correct, I should be able to change it to the sunset and it's gray again. What's happening? Okay, background, no color, no. Okay, let's redo these. Okay, background, surface. Okay, now to attach to surface. Let's go to this sunset. Let's just delete all of them. Okay, so now we have a dark one. Let's create a new, and it's gray because of our background node. So we don't want the background node, we don't want any nodes, and I want this HDR. Generated vector, it will not be this. Okay, let's check out why this is happening. Okay, line style, it's not. Let's check out with another environment. Garage maybe. I want something open, but this is a heavy file. It's a cool garage, but it's a heavy file. Let's see free assets. Let's choose something outdoorsy. Okay, modern corridor. Let's see. So these are environments inside of Blender Kit. Very easy to use. You just select your environment and there we go. You just have to wait. Okay, I think I just figured it out. Why it wasn't doing anything. But yeah, we're inside of a new render, so we'll just continue with the new ones. I'm just going to make sure we see the light in here. We go back to our HDR. We select sunset, and if we now select the sunset, we see that the light changes inside of our environment. So if you want to change your environment from, as we can see, a light where there's a lot of sunlight that's entering the room, we want something dark inside of like the night, so we just choose a good night environment, and as you can see, it's night outside now. The lights inside are burning, but if you change from day to night, it will be harder because you have to do some of your lighting again or better. For example, if you want these lights, you may want them stronger in some cases. In here, this scene, it's fine, but if you want them stronger, you'll have to make sure they are stronger. The opposite is normally easier. If you go to a daytime scene, the lights won't be shining so bright because you will have all the sunlight, but you can still, to make it more authentic or to make it more real, you can still turn off the lights because yeah, nobody burns their lights when it's day outside, unless you forgot to turn them off, of course. It for environments. I'm not going to hog too much of your time anymore. I see you guys in